What's up, everyone? What is up? Happy Tuesday, everybody. What's everyone been up to? We gotta do our little test suite of a few things on the new GPU over here. What's up, Hans? How's it going? Yeah. Oh, well, at least Twitch notifications seem to be working tonight. Woo! Just breaking the internet. That's always fun. I've done that many times in the home lab. Speaking of home labs, I still got to get around to doing the upgrades and everything. I'm just finishing the upgrades on the desktop. I got my last upgrade that I think I'm going to have to do. So as we talked about last night, the two terabyte SATA SSDs that I had in there originally for backups, then turned into scratch disks because I have a NAS now. They went kaput with the motherboard. Don't know why. Is what it is. But the plan is, instead of getting new SATA SSDs, which I totally could do, I was like, why not upgrade the NVMe? So I've got a 2 terabyte Samsung 970 EVO in there, a Gen 3. The motherboard supports Gen 4 at least. So I'm like, let's take the 1 terabyte that's secondary. I can repurpose that because I looked at it, it's like got tons of life left back into it. So I'm going to move that 1 terabyte to the logging server and then take the 500 gig that I was planning to put into the logging server, put that into the new firewall I'm building, take this 4 terabyte WD black drive here, which is a Gen 4 capable, make this the primary drive, move that Samsung to secondary, and then I'll still have 6 terabytes on the entire machine between scratch and regular stuff. Last, that's never the case. Well, in this case, it'll be the last one for a while, because I'm not upgrading the CPU and motherboard right now because the RAM prices are insane. I have a 5950X, that's more than enough. I repasted it, I cleaned the entire case, blew compressed air, all of that. Had to replace the motherboard because apparently it died after the repaste. So there's a new PSU in there, there's a new GPU, that should hold me over for another year or two until I can justify getting the CPU and GPU, CPU and motherboard upgraded, because 64 gigs of RAM on DDR5 is ridiculous expensive. I have a question. Can I dual boot with CatchOS with Pop OS? You can dual boot whatever you want. On a Linux system, you're not constrained. Although I would have to say, why would you specifically want 2 Linux distributions? There's really not much use case for having 2 different ones. Pick one that you like overall. Live in it. That's the thing about choice. Now, you can totally do a dual boot, but you're going to be wasting disk space, in my opinion. So you may as well just pick an axe head and stick with it. There's more of a justification if you were going to do Windows and Linux, or Mac OS and Linux. But 2 different Linux distributions just doesn't really make sense on the same machine, unless you're talking about virtualizing it at that point. They burnt down the only Kmart in the village. What the hell? Yeah, you don't have money for RAM and SSDs. Yeah, it is ridiculous. That's why I'm buying all the stuff now. As I talked about in last stream, the 64 gigs of memory I needed for my logging server was $360 for DDR4 ECC memory. These are 4 16 gig sticks. It's ridiculous. This was even a little bit too much, but I was like, I need space, and we may as well go get it. Make my machine just a little bit it's not really going to be a noticeable difference, Gen 3 to Gen 4. Everyone's like, oh, look, I got a Gen 5 NVMe, and I'm like, yeah, cool, you're barely going to notice it while you're browsing. There's very little difference between game load and all that because of the many different files, unless you're talking about large file dumps and things like that. We just bought like 4 terabytes of RAM. Yeah, that's got to be a pretty penny. Oh yeah, Dev, I will definitely pay, get you your money and all that. Sorry, the machine was down. I do pay my, mods for the work that they do, for the clipping and stuff like that, so I'm not forgetting you. Chief wants some rush nose sniffing. And on that note, I do still have the plan of when I start making more money, I do want to distribute that money more to the mods and everything like that. But yeah. Is Windows 11 good after debloating? No, because there's no such thing as truly debloating Windows. I know people will be like, well, there's all these debloating tools. Yeah, one Windows update and it all comes back. Like, the people that keep talking about Copilot, oh, well, I just uninstalled Copilot. Update comes, reinstalls Copilot. You have to fight with Windows to keep it the way you want. Needed something funny to remind you, though. Oh, yeah. Well, I know you're okay with it, Dev, but I want you to know I'm not okay with it, because, you know, I always like to make sure I'm squared up with you. You do a great job clipping all my videos. He's the mod that's taking care of all the TikTok clips y'all see from the YouTube videos and things like that. He's done a great job, because that's a lot of work going through the clips after you do the recording and finding what would actually resonate with people, so I like to have other people's eyes, and I don't want to use AI for that. Look, I will use AI where it's applicable, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of things where humans still are better, and you want to get human eyes on things. Do Intel chips have IME and NVIDIA something similar? IME. Oh, Intel Management Engine. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, it's on all Intel CPUs since the Core 2 days. There's not really a way to easily disable it if it's enabled, but you can go buy laptops from vendors that have it disabled out the box. So, vendors like Purism, System 76, Tuxedo Computers, they all have models that have Intel Management Engine disabled. I believe System 76 does it by default on their Intel processors. Oh, and Nova Custom's another one. AMD has their PSP, which is slightly different. But the thing about when you disable Intel Management Engine, it's so hooked into the CPU, you can't fully neuter it. All you can really do is use, because Intel Management Engine is required to boot the CPU. All you can do is boot the computer up, and then once the ME gets to a state where it's no longer needed for that boot sequence, then there's a disable bit that goes in there and just turns it off. That's actually some like bit they flip. I remember it was like in some NSA documentation many years ago. Yeah, but yeah. So basically government can get in whenever they want. No. That is a complete misnomer and tinfoil hat. Is it a part of the system that is, you know, potentially vulnerable? Yes. But not like that. Intel Management Engine is used for out-of-band management inside of systems. What does that mean? It's only really an enterprise feature. What it means is basically that we can fully patch the machine down to the BIOS level from an enterprise setting. Now, are there vulnerabilities? Yes, just like any piece of software. Do I like Intel Management Engine and PSP being on AMD? No, but they exist, so suck it up, Buttercup. But people read too much into this when they don't understand the technologies and like, well, the government has an infinite backdoor. No, it wasn't an infinite backdoor intentionally put in by the government. It was put in there by Intel for out-of-band management. Essentially, it's running the Minix operating system. Minix is another Unix-type operating system. Which is a microkernel architecture. It's basically running its own little web server in there with its own coprocessor. It's a totally, you know, there is a legitimate use case for it. The thing I hate about it is we, the consumers, should have the ability to disable it without having to do super modifications like install LibreBoot or Core Boot and then be able to disable it from that by doing BIOS flashing. That's where I would say, you know, it should have been. And Gov bribed an Intel engineer to put in a backdoor. The government will bribe people to put a backdoor in anything. Do y'all not forget, was it the Eternal Blue? When their own toolkits got leaked, and then, was it, I think, WannaCry? That was the ransomware that ran around the world and then started borking things. There's even been allegations that the government has paid off corporations to not close vulnerabilities faster. Wondering, though, with the PSP and AMD, how do you protect yourself from related CVEs to those? Update the BIOS. All you can really do with Intel Management Engine and PSP vulnerabilities, update your BIOS. That's why whenever I get a motherboard, like the motherboard I just installed to repair this, immediately went to the Gigabyte website, flashed a new BIOS on that. The stream PC over here is going to get a BIOS update as well, too. Am I really live? Are we, what is it? Are we human? Or are we dancers? I don't think that you need to, like, update your BIOS all the time, but at least monitor your BIOS updates for when there are legitimate security releases. Now, usually security releases, security vulnerabilities will be disclosed around DEF CON Black Hat time, because that's when people like to show their findings, and by that point, they've usually already been working with the vendors to make the patches. No, not Jack Herrera. Haven't done that shit in a minute. I'll be in between some Latina thighs if I suffocate and die. No, I died happy. Carry on, soldier! On a slightly unrelated note, that is one of the best ways to go out, I will say. So all they need to do is debloat after every update. Or you could just install Linux and then you don't have to worry about Windows bloat anymore. That's the funny thing, is like, I watch all these videos of the Windows users talking about, oh, well, you got to install this tool to debloat and do this hack to be able to install the local, account. And then, you got to do like this and sell your soul to the altar of Steve Ballmer and Bill Gates. And, your computer will be fine. Then Windows Update comes in and ruins it all. And then the same people doing all of this fuckery turn around and hate on Linux users saying, well, it's too complicated. Nobody wants to do that and everything. And I'm sitting over here like, I barely have to fuck with my operating system. The only reason I do any coding is because I do some interesting, unique things, but you don't need to do that. So it's just the funniest thing when it comes to people like that. If you're going to use VMware, what base OS would you recommend? Need to keep it simple. I wouldn't use VMware these days. Broadcom has bastardized the thing. If you're trying to look for a good virtualization environment, here's what I'm going to say. If you're on Windows, use Microsoft Hyper-V. If it's Linux, then I would use KVM QEMU. But VMware, if you're going to run VMware, then you better be running their operating system. Is it vSphere? Or am I thinking of something else? You would need to be running their actual operating system that they have to run virtualizations. Bro, but since 2019, they no longer ship solo. Really? I know, right? It's like all the graybeards went to bed then when Windows 7 went DOL, and we woke up as the sane ones. EXSI. Thank you, Bedrock. That's what it's called. EXSI. If you're wanting to do actual VMware, EXSI or bust. I would not run VMware Player or anything like that, because the reality is, just like VirtualBox, they sit on top of the operating system. So they're slower, they're a little bit more... it's just not as great. You want a hypervisor that can hook directly into the kernel and the hardware. Well, actually, it wouldn't even the kernel, it would just go straight to the hardware. And take advantage of, if you have Intel VTD, VTX extensions on AMD, I think it's called SRV, SVR, one of those. It's their virtualization extension. And then you get a much more performant system. That's why on Windows, I only say Microsoft Hyper-V. And then on Linux, I use KVM QEMU. Zen Hypervisor is another solution. VMware ESXi is another solution. But prior to 2019, you could download a Hyper-V OS. I remember something about that. Last time I did a server build, we used to get, was it Windows Server? standard or something like that. And what we would do is, because the license, I can't remember what the specifics was. This was so long ago. You used to be able to get Windows Server, and that license would cover 1 physical server and 2 virtual licenses. So you could actually install Hyper-V on that host, and then you'd run the 2 virtual machines as your actual Windows servers, like your AD and file server, or however you want to mix and match, or, you know, whatever your services are. These 2 VMs have to stay the way they are. Well, your only choice is VMware Player. That's pretty much it, unless you want to go through the fuckery of converting it. But, yeah. The reality is, when you're professionally doing virtual machines, we don't use VMware Player, we don't use VirtualBox. We're either using Hyper-V, KVM QEMU, Zen, Proxmox, VMware ESXi. That's pretty much it. So you recommend Linux as base OS for play? It won't matter where you go. It's all going to be as crappy. That's the honest truth. When you're running the virtual machine on top of the OS rather than in the OS. So if you're just wanting to stick to a VMware format and running it inside of VMware software, what's wrong with VirtualBox? VirtualBox is the same issue as VMware Player. They sit on top of the operating system. Hyper-V, KVM QEMU, Zen, ESXi, Proxmox, all of those interface directly with the hardware with your virtual machines. We're firing VMware to go to Proxmox. You know, you're like the 100th person I've heard say that. A lot of businesses are doing that way. The VMware licensing is so borked. Which one to use on Linux? Just use the one that's built into Linux. KVM is built in. Use the libvirt library, and then you can use QEMU. That's literally how I run mine. I have to rebuild some of my virtual machines over here, but you can see this is my little virtual machine over here. We'll grab my little thing. Let me grab a ISO over here. Give me a second. Ah, damn it. I don't have my... I need to still hook up my NAS. So, I'll have to do that again later. I haven't hooked it back up since I did a refresh on the OS. But, yeah. Borked? Nah, it's ducked. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, VMware got really effed over by Broadcom. I'm not gonna lie on that. There's nothing, let me put it this way, there's nothing wrong with VirtualBox per se, other than the fact that by virtue of, I think it's called a Type 1 hypervisor. I always get the two confused. Type 1 sits on top of the operating system. I think it is. And chat, correct me if I'm wrong here. Type 1 sits on top of the operating system and then has to rely on the operating system to provision all the resources to it. So it's one more abstraction layer from the hardware. Type 2 hypervisors hook in at the system level and go directly to the hardware. So they don't have to rely on the operating system to get all their resources provisioned, and the OS will, you know, basically be king of it. Can you not join the live? Unfortunately, no, because I'm using OBS. It's a limitation when you do talk with OBS. As Greybeard, who has been using Linux, then almost anyone with $50 will get you away to test everything, pretty much. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, you're right. Depending on the use case, VirtualBox is pretty good, just if you need to, like, spin something up quickly. But if you're trying to actually do something and rely on it, you want a proper hypervisor. All I remember was with Windows Server was the headache of dealing with and working out the license fees. Oh yeah, the licensing with Windows was bad. It really was, especially if you got it audited by Microsoft. And believe it or not, Microsoft actually does audit companies. It doesn't happen all that often. But in your end user license agreement, you agree to it. So Discord Live. I mean, yeah, we can do that. I'd have to just change the source for it, but it's a possibility. A type 1 hypervisor, a bare metal hypervisor interacts. Okay, I always get type 1 and type 2 confused. Did I say type 2 was on top of it and type 1 was hardware? I know the idea that I was speaking of was correct. It's just I always mix up type 1 and type 2. What would you recommend to fully grasp when learning Linux? Just the basic file structure of it. So what I mean by that is like, so you know in Windows, you have about the C drive, and then you know about program files. You know about, where your home folder is for user data, the system folder, things like that. Learn what the differences are in the operating system, and you can go there. I mean, I can give you a few minutes, Aaron, but I do want to get to some GPU tests today, because I got that 5070 Ti, and it's dying for crunching some stuff. Okay, hold on. Alright, so I'm moving. Okay, so I should be in the streaming chat, which you should be able to hop into, Aaron. Hey, Aaron. Well, it's just gonna be audio. You don't have to put pants on if you don't want to. If anyone's interested in studying ethical hacking, search their course on Netacad. Oh. NVIDIA hates Linux. Not really. I'm running a 5070 Ti. NVIDIA's getting better and better for actual software stuff. Okay, hold on. I gotta drag you up. Okay. Can you hear me? Hold on. Oh, probably because it's on the right mic. Okay. How about now? Oh, you can't unmute? Oh, hold on. Why can't you unmute? Hold on. I gotta change your perms. Because I forgot, Darko has, God mode powers. Okay, hold on. What was it? Server settings, roles. I think it's stream mods. Hold on. There we go. Manage members and okay, can you unmute now? God damn it, hold on. Roles. Oh, I know what I did. Of course, I closed my Discord. Welcome to Identity and Access Management. Edit channel permissions, add members, stream mods. Who can access this channel? Stream mods. Was that it? Let me get the,
button. Click, and suddenly mute button goes away.
So you committed the grave old sin of Pebcac.
I did. ID10T for the win.
How you been, buddy?
Oh, tired.
You've been traveling a lot, haven't you? Yeah? Yeah? How's the retired life?
Well, I took a job as a network ops guy to fill the time. They've had 3 different security incidents since I took over.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, at least 2 of them I referred to the FBI.
Oh, so really fun ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had to go through a couple of those myself.
At least one of those, my FBI contact declined to get involved because he said, and I quote, "That's too close to my normal day job. File it with IC3 and I'll probably get it."
So he's like, I don't want this paperwork.
I was like, fuck.
What do you mean you don't want to do your actual job?
Well, he didn't want to do it on the side.
Oh.
It was like, he was a consultant, so I had like engaged him as a consultant. And he was like, yeah, that's too close to my daytime job. Sorry. Report it and I'll deal with it for free.
Yeah, that's something.
Yep.
Speaking of security issues, I'm actually looking at switching jobs as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the place I'm at, it's just management's toxic, and it's one of those, like, they won't promote you based on the merit. They promote you based on how much they actually like you, and they're underpaying for the market and doing a whole bunch of just effed stuff, basically. I don't want to get too into it on here, but yeah.
Which mic is feeding in? And I'm starting to wonder if the microphone on my laptop is feeding to you and the TikTok on my phone is feeding back. There's like a 2-second delay.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, it might be because I'm going through TikTok now.
No, my TikTok has a 2-second delay, so I've got you through Discord.
Okay.
I'm all Apple now. Everything just jumps automatically, and I don't have to think. It's kind of cool. Yeah, no, that sucks. I don't envy you that position. I'm waiting to get fired, to be honest, because I keep telling them they're fucking idiots.
But that's how you know you got a good cybersecurity person. Basically, they just walk out and flip you off.
Ops guy, not their security guy. But so that being said, I am potentially, maybe looking at coming up to Columbus on the 9th.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I wasn't sure what your weekends are like, but I would probably be there Friday through Monday.
We can do something. We'll talk offline.
Yeah. Well, Patrick's already messaged me as well.
Okay.
So I guess I'm hanging out with Patrick on the 31st.
Yeah, he's good, dude.
He's coming here.
Okay. Yeah, that should be fun.
So, yeah, and there was a cute girl, and apparently, Jesus, I like to juggle stuff, like throw items back and forth between hands as fidget spinning.
Didn't you have a few drinks in you as well, which isn't helping this equation?
And I don't feel good either. And so I have made everything left, right, into the wall. And so I just have nothing to juggle now, and I'm like very kind of sad. But so, uh, yeah, so Patrick's coming down on the 31st. There's a girl that I know that works for AutoZone, and she does their corporate stores.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess the next store is in Columbus.
Ah.
And I was like, well, that's a cheap enough flight. I'll just come say hi to everyone because I can do one person each day and then fly home Monday.
Yeah. I think that'll be fun.
All right, I'm gonna go crawl into a corner and die because I can't tell if I have the flu or what. But
Oh. Well, feel
let me
better,
know,
buddy, and we'll schmooze when we're offline. If not tonight, I will hit you up tomorrow.
all right, sounds good. Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, buddy.
Yeah, that word. All right, bye.
Bye. That's one of my buddies. You actually may have seen him on some of the TikTok content when I was at DEF CON. He's actually been a buddy of mine since early in my TikTok days. He's a good dude. So let's catch up on chat. Hey man, I'm going through getting my A+ for an entry job. I already have passed Core 1 and I have a BS. Nice. Any advice? Home lab. Home lab, that's always my biggest piece of advice, home lab. You will learn far more with the home lab than when you actually do your home lab and you do all these projects. Journal it. And I don't mean like go on LinkedIn and all that. I mean, that is a good thing to do as well. Make yourself a blog, like a WordPress or whatever the hell you want to do, all right? Even a Tumblr, all right? If you can, buy your own domain, link to it, make a nice little email, because if you get it like timmy@acme.com or timmy@mylastname.com or whatever, it looks actually really nice on a resume. And then with your blog, you can have a website, you know, that actually journals your work and everything, because a lot of jobs actually have a segment, a line in there for website. So you can like put in your GitHub or your actual website with all your resources and everything like that. The home lab with those kind of things really help out. And the other thing is, that's funny, I may have to actually get my A+ as well. Not for a job. I'm going for my bachelor's right now. And where I'm going, they require you to pass certain certs to pass certain classes, and basically when I walk out of it, even though I already have a CISSP, I'm going to walk away with an A+, a Network Plus, a Linux Plus, a Project Plus, ITIL 4, and a few others that are part of the tuition. And it's just kind of funny that I'm sitting here like, I went my entire career without a damn cert, and now I'm going to have to go get a bachelor's and all these certs. Yeah, so I start school next month, so the streaming schedule may be a little effed. Just gonna be honest with y'all. I'm gonna try to keep streaming. I don't know if we'll do the extra streaming day for gaming like I was hoping to do. We'll see how the class load is. But yeah, I'm hoping to knock that out in 6 months. Maybe a year tops. Because I already have my associates, so I knocked out 1/3 of the credits. My CISSP knocked out a few more of the credits that I need. But because my associates is older than 5 years, I have to go through all the basic IT courses again, which cracks the hell up if you know me by now, because it's like, dude, you've seen me do some pretty advanced stuff. Like, even this computer here isn't a basic one. How do you lower your latency? In what regard? We talking system latency, network latency? Like, what specific latency? There's that can apply to many different things. See, I went my career with just a BS, now going for the master's. I may go for a master's down the road. There is a job I'm looking at that does heavily pay for tuition, and if that's the case, I may go straight all the way for PhD at the end of the day. We'll see. But the main reason I would want to get a PhD is that I can go around and tell people how to do things and what to do, and they're like, why should I do that? And I'm going to be like, because that's what the doctor said. Dr. Chief. Thinking of buying a Zima board too to set up a home-made NAS. Anyone looked at them or have one? We looked at them a while ago. They look interesting, don't get me wrong. I purposely don't see a point in getting it for myself, but I can definitely see it for other people that don't like have all the different boxes and hardware that I do, because the Zima board sits in this awkward stage for me personally, not for you. This is just my perspective. Sitting somewhere between Raspberry Pi single board computer needs, and I need a proper full bore computer. So the Zima board sits in between that. For people that are tinkering and have home labs and all that, it's great. But for me, it's kind of this weird spot of I got enough boxes that I can just throw something together. I'm not hating on it at all. Let me make that very clear. What the hell is this? Okay, I'm going to show you what is going on in the Discord tech chat that he showed me. What is this monstrosity over here? What in the OCD is going on here? You have some... That looked like a really, like, abused Ethernet cable over there. What's that doing? Yeah, that's a fire hazard. That definitely is. So, like, what? You got this surge... Holy crap. You got, like, a surge strip on a surge strip over here. Like, let's take a look at this. Sorry, this... That's bad. Remember, used to be an electrician, okay? We don't do this. You have a splitter, what I presume is a surge strip over here, attached to another surge strip over here. What I would do, drop all that, put them into here, have that be the only one, use the second plug. Yeah, that looks like a power line, but if you're talking about the latency issues with your power line, this is why I don't like power line. The issue is you have a lot of noise on your electrical line. There's nothing you can do about that. That's just an AC system. And it's never going to be that great. But would you have a crack at Santa? What the hell? What's some good home labs for learning Linux and virtualization? So if you go into the Discord that I actually have, in the general chat, one of my members actually shared a really great PDF. At least we did a while ago. There it is. Back from February 28th. It's from HBX. Building Virtual Machine Labs. This has hundreds of pages. So, like, there is 600 pages of labs. So that's there. So if you want a home lab with virtual machines, that is a great one to look at. So, yeah, definitely recommend it. Oh, no problem. That's literally what the Discord and the Matrix servers are for. It's for us to learn and grow as a community. I don't, don't get me wrong. I'm not by any means, trying to say don't come to me for questions. But I am only one person and one resource. And we have a whole community. I am not God. I am not all-knowing. I am not omnipotent. But, the community is there for us to learn, grow, and help support each other, and you can have a little bit of fun in there. So, if y'all do want to join the Discord and the Matrix servers, the links are in bio. If I wanted to set up an Active Directory and virtualization, I would like, oh yeah. Yeah, so virtualization, all of that. Now, Active Directory is an interesting case, because Windows Server, you technically have to pay for a license, but you can run it unactivated, and I think it just reboots every 90 days or 180 days or something like that. That's the only, issue you really have with it. Like the equivalent with, Windows Desktop, Watermark. But for Active Directory, you will need Windows Server. like at least Windows Server Standard Edition. Yeah, general chat here, technical support in the Discord. Pretty much, that's a good way to put it. I use Docker because my K0S cluster. Ooh. F's in chat. I do want to build a Kubernetes cluster. I want to get some Raspberry Pi 5s. I want to get like 4 or 5 of them, preferably 5, and eventually build a cluster to do that and move my Docker containers over to there. But for now, I'm going to be moving into my Intel Atom server to take care of that. I got to do a bunch of moves. So first, finish desktop. Then, upgrade firewall. Well, set up a new firewall with all the settings and all that. Then install new firewall. And then, once the new firewall's up and it's working right, take old firewall, wipe it clean physically, like dust, all that stuff. Reconfigure it, upgrade RAM. I'm actually going to take the 16 gigabytes of RAM that's currently in my firewall, put that into the new firewall, because it only needs like 16 gigs. Even that's like overkill. Like 8 gigabytes is more than enough, but I'm putting 2 because I want dual channel. Put the 64 in. That Intel Atom Server Edition that was the firewall now becomes my logging server. And what I'm going to be doing is something interesting with this. So the 2 SanDisk SATA SSDs in there, I found out they are only like 3% worn, or 5%. So they still got plenty of life in them. So I'm going to wipe pfSense off of that, install Ubuntu probably, server edition, not desktop. Take the 1 terabyte NVMe that is in this system as a secondary disk. After I upgrade the primary to this 4 terabyte, take the 2 terabyte in there that's mainly on my OS, put that as secondary and clone everything over to the yeah, that work. But that 1 terabyte will be left over. That's going to be on my logging server, along with... God damn it, I know I had it around here somewhere. There's a 2 terabyte SATA Samsung SSD that I have, and I'm trying to figure out how I want to architect this, but the OS is basically going to be on those original SanDisk SSDs in a RAID 1. And then I'm going to have... Can I put it up here? No, it's probably... No, it's out there. I'm going to have the 2 SATA SSDs as the primary, and then there's going to be that that third SSD, technically, and I'm going to basically do tiered storage. So the idea is we're basically going to use that 1 terabyte NVMe for caching and the hot files. So it's going to be a hot, warm setup, basically, for the drives. Not a hot-cold. So the most actively used stuff is going to come in through the NVMe. And then, after a while, the logs should be able to write, the older ones, like, say, after 2 weeks, it'll write to the SATA SSD. But so everything should be rapid, quick like that. So the Dockers, all of that should be able to run on the NVMe, but then the data itself, when it's like running a little bit older, can then move over to the SATA. So I have to figure out how to do that. That's probably, I'm deciding if I'm going to do ZFS, Bcachefs, XFS. I got to decide what I want to do with that. That's something I'm still chewing on, so we'll get to that in the near future. That's something I'm still thinking about. But needless to say, that server is going to become the Docker server, the automation server with N8N. It's going to be the logging and SIM server with Wazza, Grafana, OpenSearch. It's going to it's going to be basically the main nervous system of it. And then self-hosted S3 storage. No, it's the main disk there is for logging. The idea is I, at minimum, want to be able to have a month of logs for everything. System analytics, like we're talking about every system in my home lab, desktops included. We're going to have Prometheus agents reading it and Waza agents reading it and sending stuff up. So I can actually look back a month and say, hey, there's this trend of this script running and using this much CPU and doing all this, so I can start diving in. Use the SIM to have rules to actually tell me if something's going on. Tie data in to correlate data between the intrusion detection, intrusion prevention system, and the host agents and everything like that, potentially to see if there's like lateral movement and things like that. And then I'm also going to be setting up zero trust network access. I also have to re-architect the entire network too, because I'm going to be trying to implement zero trust across the network. Essentially, I'm going to set up 802.1x on my main network. So you cannot be on my Wi-Fi without a certificate to authenticate you. There'll be several different wireless networks and physical networks. So like when I'm setting up a new computer, it goes up to the setup network. And then the idea is with, I'll tie it into the identity provider as well. So let's say it knows that this is a printer. Okay, it's going to automatically log into, you know, the main network with 802.1x. I have to figure out if my printer can support it, and then provision it to one VLAN. Oh, your phone comes in, I have the cert installed in there. Oh, it's going to go to the mobile VLAN. But I won't have to manually say, oh, connect to this wireless network. It's connect to the wireless network that has 802.1x, and it will automatically push it to the right segment. Is it OPSEC to open every port and post NeoFetch? No. Don't lock yourself out. Well, that's the great thing about pfSense is I can always jack into the console and always restore old states. VLANs. Use Loki and Grafana. I'm going to be using a few things. I'm going to be using InfluxDB and Prometheus and OpenSearch. With Grafana, you can tie anything in, really. That's a great thing. What happens if you have a guest at your house? That's what the guest VLAN's for. There's going to be a guest network. It's going to be a bit more locked down, a little bit more restricted. You know, like, yeah, my DNS block list is going to be there, but it's not going to be able to access the rest of the network or even the firewall, console page, but you'll be able to do things, and then what you'll be able to also, I'll also have a traffic shaped so that there's a limit on how much data can be used. Not like I'm going to be like sending them back to the dial-up AOL days, but enough that they should be able to do anything they want reasonably, like give them 50 or 100 megabits on the guest network, with the primary network always getting priority. In the same way that I've set up RTMP traffic to be prioritized, because if y'all remember, I've been tweaking for many weeks to get the stream setup optimized. It required some Suricata optimizations, running it inline, cleaning up a bunch of lists, and then traffic shaping QoS, but we finally got there. Now I'm working on documenting all that. Look at my data recovery in the tech chat on Discord. What did you do? Gotta turn your head there. Whoa, is that a Maxtor drive? I haven't seen those since I was a kid. Maxtor was the shit. They were great drives. Then who bought Maxtor? Was it Seagate or Western Digital? Maxtor was the drive company I used to go to for my PC building back in the days. It's not a bad setup, though. But that's gotta be like, what, 15 years old, that drive? Have you got ISP failover? Yes, I do. I have a cell phone failover. That it'll automatically fail over on pfSense if it's not able to ping Google after a certain amount of time. So it pings directly on the IP 8888. Pretty much bad drive. I figure it's old. It's probably crunching a lot. But, yeah. I got two 80 gig max store drives I got from an old job. Nice. Yeah, those were great. That was back in the days when tech was actually made with serious quality and care. Oh, we already answered that. Simple yet effective, looks good to me, yeah. If a game is on both Epic Store and Steam, I bet you'll get it from Steam. Yeah. The reason why Steam is actually, I would say, a more ethical gaming company. Do they have their issues? Yes, they all do. But Steam is a more ethical gaming company holistically. Not only that, they're investing in the Linux ecosystem for gaming on Linux. So I will gladly give them my money to continue to support their operations, because with them doing Proton and everything, it helps my gaming on Linux be a lot better. Do I use the dark web? Yeah. I got to set it up on this computer again. I got to remember to connect my NAS. That's not a big deal. I just have to hook up the F-stab and the... Shoot. What is the protocol that it is? SMB... Crap. It's the one we use on Linux all the time. I can't remember it. My brain's fried after today. But yeah, I use Unix generally if I do access the darknet. I have my Purism laptop set up with it, with Cubes OS. Basically upgraded the laptop to run slightly faster. Nice. You just upgraded Loving Cosmic. I hear a lot of people like Cosmic. I'm staying on Pop! OS 2204 for now, because we're so close to 2604. And what I plan to do is install Pop! OS completely fresh with 2604 and just bring over my home folder. And then, actually, I wouldn't even do that. I would just copy over the things I need for my home folder and then completely reinstall the operating system fresh. I like to do that every couple of years anyway, because there's a lot of junk that builds up, and, you know, it's not a Linux cleaning thing, it's a me cleaning junk thing. My junk. Linux has so much issues. What do you use for GPU? An NVIDIA 5070 Ti that I just upgraded from an NVIDIA 3070. NVIDIA doesn't have the issues that they once did. Are there still complaints about, you know, the drivers not being completely open sourced? Yeah, but they're actually starting to open source more stuff. Thought your Steam preference is for Windows support. I did not know about good ethics. I don't do gaming on Windows. My PC is also running Debian 13. I like Debian 13. I have it running on one of my little laptops, too. Yeah, I have some junk getting Star Citizen to work. Feels. Okay, I saw a video about complaints. Good to know it's working. I haven't had any issues. That's one of the reasons why I like Pop! OS. Pop! OS ironed out all the NVIDIA issues that most people have. They have a distribution that has NVIDIA pre-installed. Straight up. The NVIDIA 3070 was in here, working fine for years. All I did was I installed the NVIDIA 580 open drivers, and then installed the new GPU, and worked fine. Personally done with NVIDIA for a while. It is what it is, but I need it for CUDA and a few things. Unfortunately, as much as I would like to use AMD, they're just not there with some of the GPU tasks. General purpose stuff. You know, like when you're using it for processing, not just gaming. Gaming, they're fine. Pop! OS 24 has the bugs like full screen vids being weird on Chromium browsers. Yeah, see, that's the kind of things why I'm waiting for 2604. Don't get me wrong. I love Cosmic. I love what they're doing. I love the vision. I've been wanting to get off GNOME for years. I like the appearance of GNOME, but the GNOME Foundation has been dropping the balls for years. Which is why System 76 essentially said, screw it, we're remaking our own, and we're going to do it in Rust.
Turtleneck Bandit is now chilling in the lab.
Hey, thank you for the follow. So, have you seen the Huawei Mesh X3 Pro router? It looks amazing. I don't think we can use that in the US. I think Huawei was banned. I think it's still banned. Ever tried CatchOS? No, I haven't. I hear good things. There's nothing against it. It's just, I've been on Linux so long, I don't want to distro hop anymore. I found an operating system that does everything I need perfectly, and I'm just like, you have to realize too, I don't just use this computer for fun. I use this for actual work-related stuff, so I need a stable environment. Why do you pronounce GNOME like that? Because that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. GNU, Object Manipulation Environment. From the GNU software. It's GNOME. Not GNOME, it's GNOME. I don't know why people are like so weirded out every time I say that when they find out that they're the ones pronouncing it wrong. That's not me doing a joke or anything. Like, seriously, go pull it up on Wikipedia. I've always been an early adopter to my detriment. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's just for my work, it doesn't work as well. Do you use Office 365 for work ever? Yeah, I actually do use Office 365 in the lab. I actually, I use LibreOffice for myself, but I have to have Microsoft Office for a few things. One, Microsoft Office is way better than Google G Suite when it comes to email systems. Hands down, no complaints. Look, when a Linux guy is telling you Microsoft is a better product, you should listen. It hooks into my email security software that I have too. With Avanon, now owned by Checkpoint Software. Works really great to catch a lot of the spam and phishing and credential harvesting and all that kind of stuff that happens to go through my way. And then I do occasionally have to actually use straight Microsoft Word because there are some documents that I come across that just will not open in LibreOffice properly because of how they were formatted. That's just how it is. Google Workspace hooks into... Yeah, but here's the thing. Google Workspace sucks for more reasons than just that. I didn't say it couldn't, but Google Workspace just sucks. To get a lot of the equivalent features, hey, buddy, you have to pay out the butt more. Okay, so when I'm actually meeting with vendors, I can send a Teams invite. I don't have to hook them into that. And they're going to say, use Google Meet. Google Meet is crap. It says something when I like Teams better. The Entra suite inside of Microsoft Office 365, the ability for my OneDrive to have a whole terabyte, and I know you're going to say Google Workspace has all that. Google Workspace is actually more expensive when you start tacking on all the features. And at the end of the day, I still have to use Word for some documents. That's just how it is. From a sec perspective, you're putting everything in one pot as well. Well, from a security perspective, that's just how it is. The reality is, at least with Entra, I can tie it in with my SIEM, and then I can have a complete awareness of everything going on. The reality is, when you're in a business, actual enterprise, your choices are Microsoft 365, Google Workspace. And Google Workspace costs far more and does far less. Yeah, but Microsoft outage and you're completely out. Google goes out too! Hello, did we not just see also Amazon went down? Cloudflare had outages? That's a non-argument. It's the internet. If it's hosted on the internet, it can go out. That's just how it is. Nobody self-hosts email anymore. I stopped doing it a few years ago because it's too much of a hassle. Friends don't let friends run their own email servers. I did it. I ran Mail in a Box for years. But eventually it broke down so much. Well, it didn't break down. It was just there was so much stuff I had to do to maintain it, to keep it running, to make sure my email was reliably being delivered, that it was becoming its own full-time job, that for my personal email, I moved it to Proton. For business stuff, I go to Office 365. Put auth and email and meetings, put everything all on Microsoft. What are you going to do with Google? You're still going to have the calendar. You're still going to use Google Meet. You're still going to do the same exact problem. Memtest, it doesn't actually matter. Just like Reckitt said, when you actually run business IT infrastructure, anything that's software as a service can and will go down, can and will be compromised. You can split off with Google in 365. You can split off in 365 too. I'm not using Entra directly. I'm using another IDP. A lot of people don't realize all the bells and whistles that are in 365. Not to mention Purview. If you don't know what that is, I don't have the licensing for it, but I want to play with it. Still better to keep your data in-house than trust cloud providers. According to who? Now, if you keep it in-house, let's think about it this way. You have to have the overhead of maintaining the system, owning the hardware for the system, and that's a lot of time and money that a lot of people don't want to deal with the liability of. And then if you want to make sure that it's continuously operating, then you have to get multiple providers. I read mail is pretty nice. Yeah, but the problem is you still have to run your own infrastructure. At the end of the day, there are things that make sense to self-host. There are things that make sense to not host. It's a shift of the liability of where you're going to have to maintain and host those things. Because if you're talking about email and you want to get the mail through, that's a lot of, problems that you're taking on for yourself. And yeah, in context of business, it's always best to host elsewhere. Exactly. You're saying a lot on enterprise. What is your experience with it? From MSP perspective or direct? Both. I was an MSP. Now I work in enterprises with several thousand employees. Do you use RAID for data? Well, RAID is just a continuity system. So RAID is not a backup, it's a continuity system. In certain systems, I do use RAID. Like, my pfSense firewall has RAID 1 on 2 SanDisk SATA SSDs. But for the love of God, I do not recommend, what's the word? Shit, lost my brain, my train of thought. Oh yeah, I do not recommend counting RAIDs as a backup. It's a continuity, which at best, it's supposed to give you an alert that you have to replace a disk, replace the disk, rebuild, continue. At what size system should you use RAID? It's not about what size. It's more about what reliability you need. How important is the data? It's more of a question of how important is that thing to keep operating than it is about what size it is. What do you use for backup? I'm currently moving everything over to Blink Disk. But personally, what I have is I have my NAS, which gets the initial backup locally. And then that NAS also backs up to an S3, an encrypted S3, off-site. I'm going to be using Blink Disk to manage all of that on Windows and Linux devices, so I have one platform to do everything. Blink Disk is a piece of software that a developer actually reached out to me. They have an open source platform. Really great. I'm going to be talking about it in the near future. I am affiliated with them, but the software is open source. Like, you can go to GitHub and actually see the actual application. The way they're making money is if you use their hosted service, you'll have control of the keys to do this. You can use their hosted system to back up your file data, just like OneDrive and iCloud and all that, but it works on Mac, Windows, and Linux. They did have an issue on new installs. I've been working with them to troubleshoot it. There was an issue just on new installs, not continuous ones. He was able to replicate the issue, and he just released 0.6.1 to fix that issue, so I have to test that out. But before then, on Linux, I was using Deja Dupe. Blink Disk is going to be replacing Deja Dupe, because Deja Dupe only let me, as I recall, I could be wrong, but I think you could only have it go to one source. Whereas Blink Disk, I can have it go to any sources any which way I want. Oh, there's an FTP server. Oh, there's an S3. Oh, there's a WebDAV. Oh, there's an SMB. You know, whatever. Why do we want that when we have dirt cheap S3? Well, you can use S3 with what I'm using. Yeah, that's false. Most Fortune 500 companies don't split. They put their eggs in one basket because they want to deal with less contracts come negotiation times. Where I'm at, we're pretty much all in on Microsoft 365. We also have Google Workspace because for anyone that happens to be using Google products with a company email, you want to make sure they're managed. That's it. Most use G Suite. It's kind of a mix. It depends on where you are in business. I do notice that G Suite tends to, at least in my experience, I could be wrong, more of the companies on the West Coast tend to use them, but a lot more use Microsoft 365 in my experience, at least geographically where I'm at. It's common practice to use a single company systems. Right. To the, dismay of many of the engineers, they tend to pick one vendor and put their eggs all in that one basket, even though there may be a solution that you mix and match different things, but the problem is then you have to manage all those different products and how they tie together. Most are consolidating with Microsoft. They are. They are. We're using 100% Microsoft Teams, and then when our vendors give us Zoom meets, we can still join Zoom, and when they're sending us Google G Suite meets, we can still use G Suite. Not G Suite, Google Meet. Mixing and matching causes overheads. Yeah, exactly. And I'm using 365 completely at work, except for when a vendor has to use Teams or Google Meet, because that's what they're using when they send their invite. But if we send the invite, they're joining in on Teams. I don't know what claiming domains has to do with this, because you can claim domains in any system. That's a domain registrar thing. Anyway. Oh yeah, I forgot to mount the disk. God damn it. Okay, cool. I gotta remember to set up the F-stab to auto-mount that disk. Well, that disk's actually gonna be going away, so I don't really think I should. Anyway, let's test out the frickin' GPU. So I haven't really put this 5070 Ti through its paces. Anyone play D&D? Totally off topic. I have not played D&D. Unfortunately, growing up, I didn't have nerdy enough friends to do it, even though I always wanted to. I was the weird nerd that happened to have jock friends. Are you old enough to remember bleep codes on old PCs? Yeah! I am! We need to get to Top Golf sometime. Sounds good! I'm game. We'll have to meet up. Insane, that's why I never played D&D 2. When was the last time you asked AI to Eli 5 a technical topic? I haven't really done that too often. It was maybe... I'm trying to remember what I did with... There was a topic a while ago that I did that. Wasn't really... No, that was diving into what technology it was using, so that's not a good case. I had to think about that. It's been a while. Okay, so I think the best example I can have is not really the topic so much as how to architect things with the hot, warm storage and the different ways of how philosophically ZFS, Bcachefs, XFS, Extended 4, and Butterfs all operate. It wasn't really an Eli 5. It was more of a break down how these are. I don't really get Eli 5'd anymore. I'm not trying to say, like, I'm holier than thou or anything. I'm just saying, that's just... Yeah. Are you dual streaming with another platform? Are you screen sharing on that one? Yeah, I am, but I'm not sharing the screen. Now I am. I do have to switch over what we're doing, because we're going to do some gaming on Linux. We got to test out the GPU. So for anyone that was here, y'all probably remember... Oh, come on. I just had Borderlands installed. It's being a dick because of, the game is technically on the second NVMe. Oh, no, not that one. It's on this one. And it's not seeing it right now. I think it has to hook in. Or do I have to flat seal check it? Well, I think flat seal is set up to actually be connected to this. I was playing it yesterday just for a few minutes. I'm gonna have to check this out. Is Linux worth playing for games and softwares? I think so. That's how I basically do things. Do you have a multi-GPU SLI? No, I don't. It's not worth doing a multi-GPU setup anymore. Years ago, there actually was maybe some performance, but it doesn't scale well. It's very expensive. You have to get power supplies that support it. And if you actually look at the power supplies today, they normally don't have more than one ATX 3.1 connector for the GPU. I forget what the specific it is. It's like the 12 plus 4, 12 plus 6, or whatever it is. Alright, where is my drives? Storage. Okay. Oh, I have to select the Steam folder, that's why. Nope, that didn't do it. God damn it. You're really gonna be a prick. Alright, so let me go to Flat Seal, and then we're gonna get this drive set up. Okay, so it's on this folder. So we need to get that mounted. I'll show you what I'm doing in a sec. So right now what I'm trying to do is, because I reset a few things, I can remove that, and I can remove that. I'm trying to get the flat pack to use the drive. What do you have an Intel Ultra? I don't use Intel CPUs. I like AMD a little bit better for their stuff these days. What Linux am I running? It's Pop OS. And no, I'm not ignoring you, Vampire. Well, I'm ignoring you specifically. I'm joking. Can I run Grandma 3 on PC and Linux? I don't know what that is. I'm a genius. Love Android sometimes with multi-window. Yeah? Okay, so... Library, storage, add drive. Finally, found the drive. All right. That's not really a Linux thing. That's a me configuring things in weird ways thing. All right. So we have that set up. I'm just rolling with the punches for the things that I kind of have weird because, well, I'm going to be putting that new NVMe in this weekend. So we'll just roll with the punches for now. Maybe I'll make an FSTAB entry to automatically do that. But it is what it is. Does flagship AMD CPUs come with NPUs? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Not that I really care about NPU. Is it the AI ones? The AMD AI CPUs that do? Pop OS, did you say? Yeah. Go to system76.com. That's the operating system I use. They're also a pretty great system builder, too. So if you want to get laptops and desktops that out the box work great with Linux, they're a good company. I have one of their laptops. Not endorsed or sponsored, but I give them my endorsement. Yeah. Yeah, they're a great company. Tuxedo OS was okay too, from Tuxedo Computers, but I just couldn't wrap my head around KDE getting it customized exactly the way I wanted. It was one of those, I gave it several days, and then eventually I was just like, eh. Okay, so we do have the compatibility layer there. And it did work, see? Last played yesterday. Okay, so it's got to process the Vulkan shaders. That's the one thing that annoys me every time you get an update. You got to have it process the Vulkan shader, so that's going to take a few minutes. Even on a 5950X. Because what it's literally going to do is... Hey, nope, wrong. That CPU is going to get slammed in a bit. Yep, see? No, you don't have to use HTOP to see that. Oh, okay, I forgot. Most of the Vulkan shaders are already done yesterday when I played it. Launch the game from NVIDIA app. I don't have an NVIDIA app on this. I just use, I don't like having all that bloated crap. The only NVIDIA apps that I have is like NVIDIA SMI, NVIDIA settings, the drivers. Chief, help, I'm getting dragged into a D&D session starting next month. Well, that's an issue, not an ish-me. First time seeing your channel as a newbie, what's the best Linux distribution to start with? I generally recommend... Pop! OS is my preferred one. It's very beginner-friendly. That's what I'm using, too. There's also Linux Mint, quite a few people like... There's Zorin, which is where a lot of Windows users have, springboarded and started there. There's quite a few Linux distributions. Of course, you've got good old, Ubuntu, which Pop! OS is based off of, but Pop! OS has more polish on Ubuntu, basically. Originally, it started as a set of extensions for, I'll bring the camera to me until that finishes. Originally, Pop! OS started as a set of extensions to Ubuntu that System76 created. And then they started having so many customizations, they just built their own distribution based on Ubuntu. And it's getting further and further into, being their own thing, but they use Ubuntu as the base. So, all the Ubuntu documentation pretty much works. But, yeah, I'd say... Pop! OS, Linux Mint, Zorin, plain Ubuntu. And then, of course, there's many variations of Ubuntu, like Lubuntu, which uses the LXDE desktop environment. You've got Kubuntu, which uses KDE. You've got Subuntu, which uses XFCE. And they're all Ubuntu-based, so all the documentation pretty much works. I've tested Parrot OS Home and Ubuntu, any Fedora, now testing Pop OS. Oh, and Fedora. Yeah, I like Parrot OS, but the security version, because it has all the security tools, and it's a bit more stable than Kali. So, if you're, like, wanting to run Kali, but daily, then I would recommend Parrot OS. Kali, in my opinion, should stick to a flash drive or a virtual machine. It's good there. But Parrot OS is by far a better, you can daily on this. But I wouldn't recommend most people daily on it unless you have a reason. Fedora's not bad. I just don't care for their rapid release cycle. That's a good and bad thing. Fedora does have a lot of new features that come out really soon, because every 6 months they come out with a new version. But that's a little bit too rapid for me, because I like to have LTS, long-term support releases, like Ubuntu and its variants do, where when the OS is released, you have 5 years of support on that operating system, and then every 2 years they have a new version. So, like, I'm on Pop OS 2204. They just released 2404, like, this month, because they've been trying to get Cosmic Desktop Environment with it. That's why it was so delayed. But 2204 is still up to date, running pretty recent software. I'm waiting for 2604, which is 4 years after. Yeah. I'm very slowly getting into cybersecurity. Do you absolutely have to commit console commands to memory? I had to reword that in my brain. Not exactly. There are certain ones you'll probably want to remember, but if you're getting into cybersecurity, this won't have all the commands, but it's a pretty good reference for different things. I got 3 little books here. You've got the blue team field manual. You've got the red team field manual. And you've got the purple team field manual. They have a whole bunch of different, like, commands you'll use for different situations and stuff like that, breaking down like what you may want to use. Now, it doesn't by any means have everything, but it's a good start. The main commands that you're going to want to commit to memory are, like, how do you update the system? How do you get basic resources and stuff off the system? Free space things, poking at files, creating a blank file, file manipulation, using a text editor inside the CLI. At least learn how to use Nano. If you can, get your head around VI or Vim, because for some reason they still include those and everything. That would be where I would mainly focus on. Just the basics. Don't worry. Are these field manuals available? Yes, they are on Amazon. I should put them up in my store front that I have and links and all that, but they're good little books. Oh, God, that's loud. Okay, so it looks like... Cool. Cool. We got it loading. What is Vim? I'm hearing about it. Vim is just another text editor. It's a very powerful one, but it can be kind of annoying to use and a headache. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna get my music together for the night. Is it gonna make me... Hold on, 1 second. Of course, I gotta be extra special and frickin' security key my Apple Music. Can you play Arc Raiders on Linux? From what I understand, you can play Arc Raiders. I don't personally have it. Nothing against it. Some people were actually recommending that I go play it. Alright, hold on. One of these security keys has got to support it.
So opened up my toolbox.
Neon Pixel Quest is now chilling in the
Thank you for the
lab.
follow. Hold on 1 second. What's it asking me for? Okay, this is really annoying me. What's up? Shazam failed 3 times to find this song. It's because it doesn't exist. It is mine. All mine. Don't mind the name, not here to troll. That's cool, dude. Okay, one of these has to do the thing. Backups to the backups to the backups to the backups. Why is this being a prick? Okay. What were those in the bag? Those are UB keys. I was trying to log into my Apple Music, but for some reason, it's deciding to be a prick today. So let's try that one more time with feeling. Maybe it'll work this time. If not, I'll just dump onto YouTube Music and go from there. Nope, not that key. I am in frame. Some of these don't work. Well, at least for what I'm trying to do. Not drop security keys. Could be worse, could be the soap. in cybersecurity is making things so secure that you don't want to manage to log in. But then again, if you can't access it, you know it's secure. Okay, now it worked. What the hell? It was the same key it was being derpy about. God damn it, Apple. Things I should have actually set up before. Show the same. Do I get more eggnog tomorrow to mix with hot cocoa? You know, I've never really been an eggnog person. Never. All right. Hold on. Now, why are you not playing music? Nothing wants to go right today. It's beginning to look a lot like fuck this. Okay, so hold on. Was that why? Brave got borked. That's why I remember. Welcome to tech and a tech stream. Nothing like tech issues on a tech stream, isn't there? Oh yeah, of course. I was logged into this browser the whole time. Why? Because that's the one that actually had it working. Hold on. Let's get the station. There we go. Imagine not having tech issues. Yeah. And I don't want anyone to say it was a Linux issue, because I was on the Windows stream box, okay? Alright, we got the music going. Y'all can hear it, right? Should be hearing the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Well, at least if you're over on the Twitch and everything. So if you remember, let me get this mic in the way. Yeah. If you do remember, when we were playing, okay, yeah, it dropped frames for a few seconds. Should be good now. Is it now, good now, Kara? Okay. No, dropped just a teeny bit. Hold on. There seems to be like transient issues that I get once in a while. Trying to see if it's gonna even out. No. You got poor quality. No, it's not you. Something went up with my ISP. It's been having transient issues, which is part of the reason why I got the logging server set up. I've been trying to track it down. Okay, now we should be good. I was tracking the packet loss. Okay, Okay, so if y'all remember when we last played Borderlands, this was a few weeks ago, but the issue that we were having was we would get serious stutters on a 3070 running low. And the other day I just played like 10 minutes of it, so I haven't really tested. We got it working at very high. Now the issue is I still can't get DLSS working properly, because for some reason, whenever I apply it, I get this. You get artifacting all over the place. It's not as bad as it was with the 3070, so we have to use TSR. But yeah, this has been working pretty smooth, at least with the new GPU. So this is going to be the first bit we've actually played with it.
Bang, bang, bang!
I couldn't remember what the keys are. Hold on. Okay, toggle is the mode. And which one is the vehicle? Okay, change gun mode. Melee is... Oh, so I set that on the mouse. Gun wheel, yada, yada, yada. Summon V... Okay, it's X. That's what I thought. Okay. I was having a lot of issues with DLSS on 4070 under Bazite. Yeah. I don't know why that is, but NVIDIA's been working on improving all the issues. Like, I've been noticing better and better performance as time goes on with NVIDIA stuff. Alright, so where the hell do we gotta go? Oh, I can't summon a vehicle. That was the first little stutter that I saw playing this. Just that little bit, but not nearly as bad as it used to be. Although we need to get to a point where we got some enemies and shit flying around the screen.
Welcome to Carcadia. It's in rough shape, I know.
I can't even remember where we were in this game.
Ahead. Perhaps even into the Crimson Resistance. Now, I owe you a reward. Believe me, no one is sorrier than I am that Callus took the command bolt.
Evil Geebag took a lot more than that.
I know. Try to contain your anger.
And I have a lot of people telling me what games I should start playing on Linux. The problem is, I've got so many games right now, I want to finish my library right now before I start getting deeper into other games.
But in lieu of the promised bolt, I have a parcel of the finest Vault Hunter crap in Carcadia.
I can't believe that this GPU actually made that much of a difference from the 3070 to 5070 Ti.
That was mine. Oh, I must have left it after we,
Although I do notice, like, right at the stairs there, the lines,
whips.
it's like aliasing just ever so slightly.
It was yours, until you refused to retrieve it because you were not, as you said.
It still blows my mind. This is, what, cell-shaded? And we needed this high of a GPU to get it working. I keep telling people that, the problem we have with developers, and this isn't just specific to video games, is they consistently have a problem of, oh, problem doesn't work, throw more hardware at it. Like, I remember, what was it, we were having issues with a VoIP system at work, okay? And we have 32 gigabytes on the base systems. All the laptops we provision have 32 gigabytes of memory, all right? No big deal. Their solution was, well, it seems to work when you throw more memory at it. And I'm like, we do not need 64 gigabytes of memory on a laptop just because you couldn't optimize your call software. And I think that's the problem we have in gaming, because, like, what's his face?
What's our plan to snatch the bolt back from the Ripper Queen?
What indeed? I have a
when people were complaining about how unoptimized this game was, He's like, well, why don't you just, get better hardware? Wait, did I level up again? Oh, no, I didn't. No, Vault cards are being reviewed and purchase gear and cosmetics. Okay. Interesting. Happy Mercenary Day. I need 3 more levels for that. Actions, sounds like Cisco Jabber. No, it's not Cisco Jabber. It's this thing called, Genesis, I think is the name. OMG, I see the same issue with my customers. They would rather spend money on more hosts and storage than right-sizing what they have. Come on, let us optimize your stuff and maximize your investment. Exactly. Even with the little, automations I do, I try to optimize the Python code to run as fast as possible. I mostly do a lot of my stuff in Python. You know, like parallelizing tasks, things like that, and, getting the Lambda execution times as quick as possible. Because, yeah, you know, running a single automation may be cheap, but then when you're running it many times, it'll actually add up in costs.
A favor?
Of course. To the point, Carcadia is in shambles. Power, water, fast travel, vending machines...
But yeah, I'm tired of developers not developing. The problem is, hardware has gotten so good to the point that developers have gotten lazy, and they're like, well, we'll just throw more hardware at it, and it just works.
Electrical relay,
Your exterminer is off-putting, but you're doing Carcadia a great service. The other 2 house leaders could use your assistance.
Hold on. I want to see if I can fix something with the visuals. Oh. Oh, that's limit frame rate. I don't want to do that. What was I looking for? Advanced. So anisotropic. Is there not any anti-aliasing adjustment? Interesting. Become erase myself. Another thing I noticed is that for some reason, the stats are not showing up on the screen anymore.
As well, if you have...
Must have been an update that borked it. And if hardware doesn't work, time for cloud. Yeah. Sadly, it's because of the project manager pushing dumb head deadlines. Oh, well, I agree with that. The problem that we have is, see, when I was growing up, you could not use the issue of, you could not use the answer of, well, we have the internet, we'll just push, you know, updates out when it's, you know, already sold. When we were buying games, a lot of people may not actually have internet. So you had to, okay, what am I supposed to do? You had to, what's the word? Get everything working in production properly. Like, I remember when, what was it, Doom 3 had a major issue. And it was like this big deal that, oh, we're gonna have to, go to people's houses and download the, what is it doing? Am I supposed to, like, shoot those? Okay, what am I supposed to do? I was not paying attention to this. On-prem for life. What do I feel Microsoft does with Windows? Rather than fix the inherent issues with the OS, they just raise the hardware requirements. You know what it doesn't? GNU Linux developers, you can still run on a potato if you want. Oh yeah, absolutely. You have, what is it? Puppy Linux, yeah, damn small Linux. I think the smallest one I've seen is Tiny Core, which can still run on, some really old hardware.
Deliciously done.
Wait, was that what I was supposed to do? That was not intuitive.
Carcadia is powered once more. Now to finish the job, find the valves to get our water flowing. And
But yeah, Microsoft, their issue is they've not optimized for shit. And they're starting to feel the heat because they've taken for granted the fact that they've been the main player for so long that they didn't have to optimize. And they've been shoving Copilot down everyone's throats and realizing people don't really want AI shoved down their throats in their computers. I was so pissed when I upgraded to Windows 11. I have Windows 11 on the stream PC over here, but it's Windows 11 Enterprise. And I have group policies and stuff managing the,
give it a few cranks.
things it can access and all that stuff. But I also hate, like, if you ever looked at the telemetry Windows has on a network, it is a chatty mother.
Dirty doing this.
I actually blocked, what is it? Bing and stuff in my network. Because, you know, if you do a search on Windows, it automatically goes to Bing. Because what they need is they need to show, oh yeah, you know, people are actually using Bing. We have these many users using it. It's really people in their search bar just looking up stupid shit.
Vale. Key systems back online.
That's why I fired Windows from every device I own. Fedora on my laptop, Bazzite on my gaming rig. Yeah. I only have 2 Windows devices in my house. One is the laptop I need for, going back to school to do my, tests. Because they need a specific browser that, you know, hooks into the system. And the stream box.
And Callus's subsequent insanity. The timekeeper left the people of Carcadia to outdo. What had been designed as an off-season retreat for the...
This is boring. I wanted to come here to shoot things.
Many perished in the chaos.
I came here to kick ass and chew bubblegum. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Sent to take her down. Still, we lost much. We regained something in kind.
Levain, any sudden insights on that command bolt?
Only that it's certain to be with Callus, but that's the thorny bit. We've no idea.
No, goddammit.
She's almost invisible to us. Strange, no?
Operation Hydration successful.
Impeccable work. Levain was right.
Oh, I was like, there was something there. I didn't know what, but it was there.
Yorick, really? Vault Hunter, I appreciate the help, but something rather urgent has arisen. It's Zane.
Do I get to shoot something?
I went to check on him, but he was just gone. I can't even raise him on comms. I'm afraid...
You went out for revenge on Callus?
Precisely. Please, can you track him down before he tries...
I'm actually surprised that this is not stuttering nearly as bad as it did with the 3070. I just still can't believe that I have to,
You can say a lot about the critters on this planet, but sometimes I need something.
They ran me out of my favorite cave! And hole! And special crying stuff!
Zane's recklessness, it can be so...
Oh, so now we get to finally do something.
enthralling, but after our...
Alright, so let's go to the map. Wait, no, it was, Okay, so I gotta get all the way out there. We should finally get to shoot some enemies and get some, wear on the GPU and see what this is capable of.
Una pregunta. If Zane disappeared without a word, how do you know where to start looking?
An astute and awkward question. In our days together, we used to track each other. Well,
Kind of surprised how that let me, like... Never understood. Okay.
His signal, rather.
Whoa, it's live? How's my lighting?
I am, obviously, Penelope Springs, host of the best and, incidentally, only hard-hitting man-on-the-street news segment here on Kairos. This local wacko.
Vault Gatherer, the way cooler, entirely
Damn it.
to the Vault Hunters. We have merch.
I tried to do something stupid, and it ended up, you know, hurting. Pulling a jackass stunt right there, jump off a cliff.
Roll it out, Penelope. A treasure that great's gonna be under lock and key, but I promise you this. Wherever it is, the Vault Gatherers will find it and plunder its booty.
Riveting stuff. You, extremely
Plunder the booty. We gonna plunder the booty.
you think of this legendary vending machine?
Rafa's all over. Just make sure you're getting my good side.
Exactly the kind of raw take I was looking for. Stay tuned for up-to-the-minute coverage. Who will solve the mystery first? Who will unearth the truth of...
Okay, so which way do I have to go? Okay, so I do have to go that way.
Who cares? But first, a message from our sponsors.
Wait, am I supposed to? I guess so. Come on. You know, at least I can actually, not have to worry about the stutters nearly as much as I used to.
Someone get the bomb!
Still need to get some more enemies on the screen than this, but... not bad. Okay, a little bit of, like, laggy there. Yeah, so far the 5070 is holding up pretty well. Come on, eat shit and die. I was fine with Windows 11 from December 2021 to October 25. 25H2 killed my Bluetooth, audio, mouse, and video. I think Microsoft wanted to make sure drivers don't work, so we upgrade. Do you mean Windows 10? Or did you actually mean Windows 11? Oh yeah. I heard the 25H2 is kind of problematic for quite a few people. I do tend to stay on older stable builds until I absolutely have to.
and be rewarded.
I forget that frickin' explodes.
Or broken. Rebelling against any direct order will not tolerate. There are no excuses. There are no...
Did I just step on a trap or something? Killed both laptop and desktop. I work for an MSP. We had a lot of problems, customers that had major problems with Win 11 at 25H2, including our own machines. Really? What kind of issues were you having? Because, I think we've deployed it at work, but we haven't really seen issues. Then again, our endpoint configuration team is pretty clutch.
Changes the whole. Do not be the faulty part.
Chromebook running Windows 11. Wait, you had a Chromebook running Windows 11? Intel Precision Tower, then 25H2 and 20 H1 and H2. I think I'm still on 24H2, I think it is. I don't know the specific version, but I know I'm not on the latest. I always like to be like 2 versions behind. 1 or 2 versions behind, really. Oh. Maybe. I guess you had an Intel-based Chromebook if you said that you actually were able to get Windows 11 installed on it. Okay, so we still gotta run that way. Yeah, not outdated, but reliable. What, the, 24H2? You got the Yeetus Deletus.
This one's a killer. Let's get to it.
Didn't even see him run up to me. Love the content. Appreciate it. Oh, no, being 1 version behind. Yeah, so at work on our sensors and stuff, we tend to go N-2. So I try to be at least N-1 in my home lab. I don't want to be, I don't want to be bleeding edge because of the work I have to do, and I need to make sure my systems are stable. But I want to be... would it be cutting edge? Because you have bleeding edge, and then you have the cutting edge, I guess. Oh, shit. I was like, I forgot. They can suck you in like a succubus, or my ex-girlfriend. Wait, that's one and the same. Never mind! Had to revert back to Windows 11 24H2. 11 plus hours of battery. Oh, really? What, on the Chromebook? What's that Chromebook running? It's probably running like, what, an Intel N100, N97, maybe an Atom. Intel Core M3? M3? Or did you mean i3? Or is there another line of CPUs that I completely forgot about? For you to see.
Hostility! At last! My shooting hand was falling asleep.
Bro, I'm about to toss you, little midget.
Almost didn't see you
there. Core M3 refers to low power Intel. Huh, I thought they just had the N series. Interesting. Haven't really come across the M series, but I guess it wouldn't be too powerful. For you to see.
However many bullets you brought, it's enough. ¡No pueden correr, muchachos!
There, baby! Anything else? You to see. Why is my Huon 1060 Plus don't work properly in Ubuntu Studio with Fire Alpaca? What's a Huon 1060? I'm not familiar with that. I also don't use Ubuntu Studio, but the graphic tablet... Oh. You might have to look up specifically. There might be some way to set it up. I know not all graphic tablets work extremely well. But I know there's, like, support for, like, I think Wacom and stuff like that. I'm not familiar with that tablet, though. There may be somebody that has workarounds for it. Gotcha, bitch! I knew I had a sniper rifle. Guess it's time to buy a Wacom. Yeah, I would look up, though, which ones are compatible, though. I don't use graphic tablets, so unfortunately I don't really know what's the best one to use for that.
I don't wanna.
But I still find it funny that people keep saying, oh, NVIDIA doesn't work on Linux, when it's like, that's 15-year-old knowledge, and I'm doing just fine on it. Well, I'm glad to help. My bad. The issues were with 24H2 and Lenovo. Had to do with the conflict between Windows Power Management and Lenovo Intelligent Thermal Solution Service that would lock the CPU into a low power state and would get around. Yeah, I do know that Lenovo has some quirks with it. That in the Linux kernel, there's actually a section in there called Lenovo quirks. Literally. It's things they've had to do to work around because some vendors do some really weird custom things. But nowadays, Lenovo works pretty damn reliably with Linux. Okay. I knew there was some way to get up there. So I gotta know how to get up there is the issue. Wait. Oh, I'm overthinking it. I gotta just go around. T16 Gen 3 runs great with Fedora. Oh, you're Lenovo? I mean, like I said, it was the older ones that had their own little quirks with things. Nowadays, laptop manufacturers have at least learned to standardize on things that it's not nearly as bad as it once was. There was a period in time where I would refuse to use Linux on a laptop because there were just, desktop, it was great, but laptops, it was still, like, it needed improvement. That was the time when I was a Linux user on desktop, and then I would have a MacBook. Hear me out. What distro, an AMD or NVIDIA? I'm using Pop! OS and I'm on an NVIDIA. Specifically the 5070 Ti. Wait, what the hell did I press? I pressed some kind of button. And the trail just appeared. Exactly what I was considering for my old gaming laptop with 3050 Ti. Do we trust any of the privacy-first mobile carriers? There's a few that are okay. I used to use Afani. They were kind of expensive. I still got to do some testing on the other ones, but, that requires money. Not that I don't have it, it's that I don't want to spend too much of it. That's why I do the content creation, guys. All the tips, the subs, buying from the sponsored stuff goes to helping that I can make more content for y'all. Looking at Cape, but money. Oh, yeah, I heard about Cape. The problem is a lot of the privacy-first vendors, they cost an arm and a leg because you gotta remember, they don't run their own cell phone networks. They, they're an MVNO, a mobile virtual network operator. So they're basically just buying time on other people's towers. Now, I did come across, like, some snake oily kind of things over my years, like, that Trump phone, there was, like, the Freedom phone or something else. Like, don't get me wrong, there's some great privacy companies out there, but there's also people that know how to sell privacy to, ignorant people. I'm not saying that to be offensive, I'm just, ignorant is a thing. You can fix ignorance, you can't fix stupid, though. The gimmick phone? Oh yeah, there were a few of them, like, what was it? The Zero Trace, the unplugged phone, that was another one that was bullshit. Oh, don't think I forgot about you. Come on, you bastard. Ooh, I'm close, I'm close. Oh, that was the problem. Woo! There we go. Oh, you are still not dead yet? Now you did. What about Purism's offering? So I have a Purism Librem 5. The problem with it is that, well, it's underpowered. It really is. It's not as great as I hoped it to be. I still hope for there to be a Linux phone, a full Linux phone. Desktop environments on Linux phones are still just, they're not there yet. I had high hopes for it, but I still recommend people when they're like, hey, I need a privacy phone, get a Pixel phone and install Graphene OS. That's really the only respectable option that you have today. One shot! Anything over there? I have one on my desk, mostly just to tinker with. My primary is an iPhone with every security feature enabled. I mean, iPhones are okay. Like, I still tell people, if you want to buy a phone that out the box has the best privacy and security you can get out the box. Not saying, like, it's the overall best. That would be the iPhone. But, the only thing that beats it is a, Pixel with Graphene. Although, from my understanding, Graphene is gonna have another major, phone vendor release a new phone with Graphene OS pre-installed. That should be interesting. I find that interesting. Graphene Panther? Which one's that? Is that the new phone? Or, I don't know. It's hard to keep track of everything. I trust Apple more than Google or Samsung or other. Feel they're less likely to sell my info than others. So, the way I put it is, not that I trust Apple more. Technically, I do. It's that I hate Apple less than Google. Does that make sense? And that's also why I, do not like a lot of the Google products. Oh, Pixel 7? Yeah, I got a 7A. How's a pangolin an arms dealer? Ooh, what are you? All right, let's see. Oh, I had 9 reward boxes in there? You hate Apple less than Google? Pretty much. Man, my backpack's full. $304. Oh, so I got a bunch of soldier class mods. Here, we'll sort this by level. We'll know which stuff we can start getting rid of. I still got level 17 stuff equipped. It's so hard to decide what to do. Okay, we'll drop that. Graphene OS phone is an 8A. Wish it was an XL. My big thumbs don't agree with the smaller screen. I like smaller phones, but then again, I don't have massive hands. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so that's soldier mod. What's that do? While moving, shots have a chance to ricochet off. All indirect. Okay, so that's just, well, gain lifesteal. Whenever Rafa damages an enemy with an action skill, place remote down. Ooh, nice. Booming business. Okay, so that's nice. Laugh with the grenade. Kills an enemy. +5 health regen per second. Okay, that's nice. That shield regen was really nice, though. Okay, so we're gonna mark that as junk. The enhancement. Extend a friend. Okay, so shield-wise... Oh, that's nice. Oh, okay, so I didn't know that you could do this. Okay, cool. Okay, so that's an assault. Wait. Launches the drone that before 6.9... Wait, what? Why did I not have that equipped? I mean, it's not a horrible gun. I'm just not a fan of a semi-auto assault rifle.
Someone tell me they saw that.
It's not too bad. Secondary shot fires. Wait, hold up. DPS is that. 117, 134, 3.8 seconds. Sport drone launches a drone. That's a nice alt fire mode. Alright, we're gonna drop these subs. Just you can't WhatsApp with graphene. Oh, you can't have WhatsApp on graphene? That's okay. Signal's better anyway. My family uses WhatsApp. Work uses Signal. At work, we use Signal. All of my family basically uses Signal as well. There's a couple relatives I have that still use WhatsApp. Okay, those are all the guns I dropped. Cool. It is kind of stupid that they require certain features for you to install apps. Okay, so about to jump off the cliff. Tried to get my friends and family to use Signal, but no one wants to join me. Go to cybersecurity meetings and stuff like that. I'm in, like, my Signal is way more busy than my Discord is.
I don't know how Zane got across. Rippers have definitely messed with it.
Sadly, I'm not surprised. But the plateau on the other side is where Zane's signal gave out. Look for a way to lower the bridge.
Oh look! Murder folk! Perhaps we should show them the error of their ways!
I need to get around to that support guy. Perfect music going on right now.
This is fun, fun!
It's true the way I feel. Almost find your name. Our Discord is pretty much discussing and scheduling D&D sessions. Family uses FB Messenger, but no WhatsApp either way, so my family is meta. I don't have a Facebook account anymore. I deleted mine a couple of years ago. I just woke up and realized one day that I was like, I don't really enjoy Facebook that much, and it's a pretty toxic environment. Nobody really uses it to connect anymore. To message me on FB Messenger until I stop responding, now they just text me. So, this is how I actually got a lot of my friends and family to use Signal to message me. The iPhone users iMessage me, but the what I would do is that if you didn't message me on Signal, I would purposely delay my responses. And then they would be like, if you sent me a message on Signal, I would instantly respond. Did I really just shoot myself? Is the CC cert by ISC squared a good entry level? That's a pretty good one. I still have FB count V2 after crazy extra stock me. Oh, yeah, I'm trying to make a Facebook account for Marketplace as well. That's like the only thing worthwhile. Yeah, how far we've come now. Can't wait to see it tomorrow. Yeah. With
Okay, let's give this a shot.
They made it free for a short period recently.
It's a start at least. Now for the other.
Pavlov condition them. Oh yeah, totally Pavlov condition them. Yeah, so get the ISC squared CC cert. It's definitely a good entry. It's not the worst idea to get Associate of CISSP, but you do have to pay dues and things like that, so it is what it is.
Well, you can't win them all.
But yeah, I'm gonna be getting a bunch of certs apparently through college, so that'll be interesting. I find it hilarious that they're gonna make me have to go get an A+ cert amongst others, as senior as I am in my career. I'm like, it's funny, I've gone 15 years without going to get a bachelor's degree or, you know, most certs. I only got my first one last year with CISSP. A+ is pretty easy. Oh yeah, I know. I'm not worried about it. I'm just like, why the hell do I need to get this shit?
Bingo!
Well done, darling. Now hurry to the other side. I'll mark Zane's last coordinates.
What do I think of Sans Jayak? I hear a lot of people want them. They're pretty respected. They're just expensive as fuck.
I just hope we're not too late.
Started doing some skills carry practice ones through the works portal. Oh, nice. Liked learning about SSCP and CISSP. I am going to be working on my CCSP in the near future. I already have my CISSP, so there's like an overlap with it.
Hunter! Hey! It's Quint! Help me with these jerks, okay?
This rifle's kind of boring.
Ready to...
Yeah, I could throw it and then, you know, make it go boom, but, you know... Oh, that was definitely a nut shot. A+ was honestly so confusing during the exam I have to redo it. The online practice labs are so different from what I was actually doing in it. Interesting. Wait, they have you actually do labs? I thought it was like all like knowledge-based.
Quint, my man! What are you doing, buddy?
Zane said he needed a trust.
Or was I mistaken? But yeah, it looks like I'll probably be walking away with A+, Network+, Linux+, Security+, which is funny because I have a CISSP.
The abandoned order refinery a while ago. Too long, honestly. There are tons of rippers in there. I can't call him either. Comms go haywire when you get close.
Something's interfering with my signal.
Levain, I found Quint. He says Zane went up ahead to scout. But comms all around the scrapyard are being blocked.
That may explain why Callus has been so invisible to us. Perhaps she's trying to prevent the timekeeper from finding out what she's...
Comms really are in fits. Boundaries, folks! It ain't rocket surgery.
Rocket surgery. It was mainly knowledge-based, but there's a part where that question's kind of based on the labs and content. Oh, okay.
Shut tight. No harm in knocking, yes.
We're knocking on heaven's door.
Delivery of crucial Reaper stuff, like brain birds. You like those, see?
What? Didn't you hear the main gate's closed, moron? We've got some fast-talking merc prowling around. Go to the back entrance. And you gotta have the password. I'll send the memo out to the camps. Didn't you get it?
I forgot. Sorry,
Oh, I leveled up. I should, spend that point somewhere. Oh, we still can't get that tier of skills. Rafa gains increased skill damage. We'll do the protection one. Also, if you need accommodations, you have to have those in advance, otherwise they won't honor them. Really? Like, what accommodations are you talking about?
Kick ass. I can save money now and there.
Thank you for the sub. Neon Pixel Quest. Thank you for that sub. We have sub printers. Although I don't know what happened that, like, the music cut out in the middle. It's supposed to play like a song. Stream Elements has been kind of weird. I'm going to be moving all that stuff locally eventually. Like water, movement needs, etc. Oh, really? I shall have to keep that in mind.
Ripped out like a lot of my brain. Let me check again. Quint, can you hear me? The front gate's sealed, but I've got the password that the Ripper camp's nearby. I'll check it out. Meet me at the side gate, okay?
Blind days? I mean, I'm game, I guess, but so you know, I have a severely inflamed left.
It's not blind date, side gate.
He has an inflamed left nut. Been watching your content on TikTok for a long time, and I know how much tech costs. Figured I'd give back to the content creator and enjoy watching. I appreciate that, Neon. I really do. Happy hacking, buddy. Yo, I'm gonna bitch slap you.
One less loco on the field.
We went ban for ban and they went down. I forgot I can pick up things.
You're a mean one, aren't you? I mean,
That support drone is not a bad thing. They watch you like a hawk, so if you have vocal stims as well, you can get dinged. Oh, really? I was thinking for some of those, they have like, what, Pearson View? I think the testing centers, I may end up going to those. What are you playing? Oh, it's Borderlands 4.
not too close. They will... All right, Butcher. Let's see what you got. Happy with yourself. You stung on their face.
See you later, Bengali. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, I may have to call it a night soon, too. I didn't realize the time. At least get to a point where I can stop safely. Come on. Got a bunch up here. Oh, perfect time for that little break in the song to come in. I'll just shoot you in the ass.
I don't suppose you'd be amenable to a burling? Nah, I didn't think so.
'Cause I wish you to stay away from me. I will have to say this 5070 Ti has definitely improved my ability to game. I went from stuttering on low with the 3070 to, this on high. Woo! That was close. Woo! That was close.
Didn't think we were finished, did you?
There we go. Second win. Come on. Gotcha, bitch.
Is on no one's menu. Now, what did you drop there?
Rippers, I know you got enough brain left to remember one password. The first part is honk shoe.
Sweet. Had to do a proctored exam for Nutanix in the office conference room. I hated it. What's that? Please remove that. Don't use the whiteboard. Really? Yeah, proctored exams are really, really annoying. I get why they're done, but nah. Alright. Have you heard of Tickfinity for TikTok? Yes, I have. The problem is Tickfinity and all that is really hard and annoying to set up. It is. I used to use it, and it's just, like, really cumbersome compared to, the other stuff that I use. But I'll be running my own TTS and stuff soon. But, yeah, it's getting pretty late. I do have work tomorrow, so I do want to thank you all for coming by. If you haven't already, make sure to follow me on all of my socials. I'm on YouTube. I primarily do YouTube videos nowadays. Of course, TikTok, Blue Sky, Mastodon, Kick, Twitch, and of course, do not forget to join the Discord and the Matrix server. The links are in the bio for all of them. And I will see you all tomorrow for our next planned stream. Tonight was a makeup stream because Sunday we had issues. I had to rebuild the entire computer, all that stuff. Motherboard went bad, yada, yada, yada. But Wednesday night we'll be doing our regular stream. And Thursday, on Christmas Day, I probably am going to stream as well because, well, to my people, that's just Chinese and a food and a movie. Not much else I can do. I don't celebrate it. But thank you all for joining me. Stick around for the raid if you're over on Twitch. I love all y'all. Stay safe. And as always, happy hacking. See you tomorrow.